paying tribute to a great man and Tampa Bay radio icon. The Ted Webb retirement party now continues on News Radio WFLA.
Hey, good morning. We're broadcasting with a live audience, a lively audience, I might add, too, here from the Golden Diamond Source Theater here at iHeartRadio. And we want to thank Glory Days Grill because they brought a bunch of great food here. Fresh, never frozen, but they got dry rub wings, their crispiest wing, and fire grilled wings, smoked and then grilled to order. And this is what I love here. They got the pulled pork sandwiches that's been smoked for 13 hours.
It's hard to keep lit though.
And this is a no smoking zone too. But this is something else there with Glory Days Grill is the mac and cheese bites, hand rolled every day. And of course, Glory Days is growing one all over the planet probably, but they're moving around the country at a pretty rapid rate now. We got a very special guest that I think you might recognize here, Ted, from the old days here at 970 WFLA. And would our guest please check in here?
Well, I have three of them, Jack. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Well, let's go with Gabe.
Okay.
Our old boss, Gabe Hobbs, is on the line here now.
I just talked to him yesterday.
And of course, I just talked to him yesterday.
Yeah.
So.
What were you all talking about yesterday?
You know, Ted, look, I can't tell you how disappointed I am. I warned you about this for 25 years, that if you didn't modify your behavior, you were going to get caught up in one of these scandals. And sure enough, here you are embroiled in the middle of all these Hollywood and Washington, D.C. sex scandals. So,
If that kid would have lived,
I'm so sorry it happened to you, but, you know,
I wouldn't have been charged.
That is amazing. We haven't had a sex scandal around here. Is anybody in the audience caught in a sex scandal or anything? Oh, just two of them.
But I tell you, I heard Sheffy Baby or somebody earlier mentioned Bobby the Brain Heenan. That was the first time I met Ted as well, as you know, back, I don't know, 1988 or so. And I was programming just the FM in those days and knew nothing about the AM. I was working late in the evening. Ted was doing a sports show from 6 to 8 p.m. on WFLA then, and a midday show, as I recall. And Ted comes running around the corner into my office, and I don't really know who he is. I know who he is, but I didn't know him personally. And says, "Hey, I need your help in a minute to turn on the radio station. Me and Heenan are going to get in a big fight on the air, and I just need you to come in and break it up and then pretend to throw him out of the building." And, oh, yeah, great, no problem. And I'm not a wrestling follower, so I don't really know who Heenan is or Ted. So sure enough, they get in a fight on the air. I come running around the corner, bust into the control room, and it's like, Heenan, I need you get your ass out of here right now. Something, and starts running. I mean, he slowly turns around, Heenan does, and gives me this glare, and I'm like, oh my God, this is real. This guy's going to absolutely destroy me. And I thought, he's supposed to play along, didn't he, Ted?
I didn't tell Heenan you were going to be coming in to break the fight.
I was like, oh no, what did this guy get me into? And I mean, I'm like, should I just continue through this? And of course, you know, I said something about I'm going to call security, and we had no security, but that's the building downtown. But we probably should have, but we didn't. And you know, finally Heenan plays into it. But that look he could give you, and you know, pull that off, I just knew I was a dead man. And I was like, I've lived here like 3 days, and I'm about to be, you know, broken in half. So cool.
By the way, Gabe ended up marrying our producer at the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. Yes, Renee Heath. Yeah, I think she's somewhere around here. So.
Well, David,
the things people do to avoid a sexual harassment charge.
Well, it was kind of the other way around, I think. But, I haven't decided whether or not to, you know, go to the press yet. But in all seriousness, you know, I've worked with both of you guys really since the beginning, since I came to Florida back in the 80s, and spent most of my adult life there. And I tell you, you hear rumors about what a nightmare it is to manage and coach various and sundry disc jockeys and talk show hosts because of their ego and this and that. And Jack and Ted both, especially Ted, you just made it such a joy. And you both are professionals and two of the most talented guys. And I don't know if people know this, they were nominated for the National Radio Hall of Fame last year. They'll be nominated again this year on the ballot, and I'm going to do everything I can to express my opinions and get you guys in there, because you deserve it, and it'd be a great gift for you to get this year, Ted. But brother, I love you, and like I said yesterday, do something stupid, fun, but safe in your retirement, and have all the fun the good Lord can give you.
Thank you, Gabe.
Hey, Gabe, and I hope we see you up in Chicago at the Radio Hall of Fame in November.
You'll see me hopefully in the next couple of months right there in Tampa Bay.
Well, that's even better. Hey, thanks for calling in, Gabe.
Thanks, Gabe.
Appreciate it. We got some other people calling in. We're going to try to get around to everybody here sometime this morning. But first of all, we've got to go to the Storm Team 8 Weather Center meteorologist Lee Spann. And Lee, it's going to be a little gloomy in here without Ted. How's it going to be out yonder?
Well, let me first say, to pass on to Ted, that he will be missed. I've enjoyed working with him, and he is certainly an institution here in the Tampa Bay area. Enjoy his retirement. Now, for those of you who are trying to get outside maybe and see the super blue blood moon, probably going to want to bundle up. It is chilly this morning, but the skies are clear, and blue skies all day, really. So we get up to 68 degrees. Winds relax, so it should be a little more comfortable for Thursday and Friday, especially for Ted, getting to relax in the next couple of days.
All right. We will talk to you later.
All right, have a great day.
Friend, you're listening to the Ted Retirement Party on News Radio 970 WFLA.
And on it goes here this morning as we're broadcasting from the Golden Diamond Source Theater here at iHeartRadio. And we got another special guest on the line to say something to Mr. Webb this morning. And would our guest please check in?
Perito, como anda? Ted.
Lionel, how you doing? How you doing, buddy?
Let me tell you one thing very quickly. Let's cut through all this crap. Okay, this man is a genius. There was a time in radio. Bear with me, Jack. I swear to God, if you tell me, well, we're plumb out of time, I'm going to stick a pencil in your heart. This is important. There was a time in radio years ago where WFLA was the most fun place, the most experimental. We had the best lineup. We had people that no city could compare with. This is an absolute fact. And there was a mentality and there was a spirit of go out, don't lose the license, but have fun. Push the edge, be crazy. You wouldn't recognize that today if you listen to the dribble all over this place. When I first started, I was brand new. I didn't know anything about radio. Nothing about the rules, and I still don't, nor do I want to. We used to be on Jackson. Remember the Jackson Street, whatever, the old Jack Harris building. Two people couldn't pass each other in the hall. When Bob Schumann, who weighed 9,000 pounds, would walk down the hall, you would have to get into a studio. Am I lying?
Tell the truth.
If I'm exaggerating, stop me.
No, it's true.
If he walked out there, oh God, here he comes, and we get in, let him pass by. One Friday, I was leaving. It was pouring down rain. That typical Tampa thunderstorm where everything rocks and shakes. And I walked by the studio, I just finished whatever I was doing, and Ted's in there, and he's got his hands up in the air like, I don't know what to do. What's going on here? So I stuck my head in and said, what's going on? He said, we can't take incoming calls. Remember that evening?
I remember that well.
Okay, so I said, well, listen, in that spirit, that crazy Dave Maseko, Randy Michaels, hey, let's have fun. How tough can this be? I said, can we call out? Now, mind you, Ted's a veteran. You think if I was breaking the law, Ted would say, whoa, wait a minute, hold it, you can't do that. It's against the law. No, not Ted. He's smiling. I said, can we call out? They said, yes, we just can't take calls coming in. There was a newspaper. I thought, let's call up people who are looking for jobs. The help wanted ads.
The aggressive
I'll call
salad
on the air.
maker. The aggressive salad maker. I remember that one.
Yes, we'll call them up. We won't tell them they're on the air. What you have to do. Ted's laughing. You think Ted would have told me, listen, on your puppy, you can't do this. Just, no, he's laughing. So I called up, and there was one ad for some place that they needed. It was a chain, an aggressive salad maker. I don't know what that is, right, Ted? I don't know. We still don't know what an aggressive salad maker even entails. I said, this is a good one. Call them up. So we're on the air live. I'm calling this place, whoever. This guy answers the phone, and at the time, it was a modified, remember, you cover house, have that voice where you, anyway. That was in my mind. So I called up, live on the air, unbeknownst to this person, and I said, hey, I'm responding to that ad in the paper. You want an aggressive salad maker? I love salad. Give me chickpeas, romaine, lettuce, carrots. I forgot my own knife. Can I bring my knife? When did I start? I'll pay you. Just let me cut. Anyway, on and on, like Ted Bundy, some psychotic person. The guy said, whoa, wait a minute. And anyway, Ted's laughing. Remember, Ted, we called the Girl Scouts. And I told the Girl Scouts that I was the truck driver that I was about to deliver the elephants. I don't know what that means. They were scared. The elephants, they haven't eaten. I gotta water the elephants. Where do I bring the elephants? We called somebody one time from whatever. Make a long story short.
Very short.
Can I ask you a question? Yes. The Girl Scouts just called me and said, really? I forgot all about this. Did you and Ted happen to call the Girl Scouts or whatever? I said, well, maybe. Did you clear this? No. And I looked at Ted and thinking, you son of a bitch. Why did you let me do this? He said, it was good radio. When you used to do I used to call up as La Manguera.
I hate to do it. I'm going to buy you a clock for next year.
Do you ever give any time? Do you allocate this when you sit down and think about it? Hey, let's
7:30 on AM Tampa
Legendary Bay Area broadcaster. We're back with more on the Ted Webb Retirement Party on News Radio 9 WFLA.
And we've got a full house here at the Golden Diamond Source Theater at iHeartMedia on Dandy Boulevard in Tampa. And a lot of people are going to be meeting here. And first of all, up here to say hello is somebody we might be hearing a little more of on the AM Tampa Bay show in the future. Where did you hear that? Mark Larson. Are you going somewhere? Well, occasionally. I only filled in when you were gone because you couldn't work with me. And they said, Jack's gone. I said, how many times this year? 10? You're like Johnny Carson, man. You take more vacation time than anybody else I know. Wow. But last show I did with Teddy was, what, 2013. That's when I retired the last time. And I kept asking him, man, when are you going to do it? Play a little golf? Go fishing? Have a good time? Anyway, it's good seeing you, brother.
I waited 5 years to take your advice.
Well, I'm glad you finally did.
Yeah, but I did.
Well, you know, we're not going to take up golf, though. I always tell people golf is like smoking, and you used to be a smoker. If you don't play golf, don't start. It's just not a healthy thing, man. But we had some good times here, and I think just working with you guys and going back in retrospect, I mean, there's too many things to go back over. There's the bachelor party, which we won't talk about. You sprung Ray Perkins on me when I was on 93.3. You were doing the sports show and came across the hall with this guy. Oh, Ray Perkins. Of course, Ray Perkins is a guy a lot of us try and forget. But Teddy walks in with this guy, and I thought he was Ray Perkins. Who was that guy?
I forgot, but he looked like Ray Perkins.
It was like a twin. Ted comes in, hey man, I want you to meet Ray Perkins. And I'm thinking, hey, of course I don't know anything about sports. This guy walks in, I thought it was Coach Ray Perkins. I found out an hour later he dressed up the whole thing, which is what Teddy normally does. But people like to go back maybe 20, 30 years and say, you know, I remember your best moment on the air. But one of the most outstanding moments you had on the radio, Ted, did not happen 20 or 30 years ago. It happened just a handful of years ago. And you guys had Ron Reagan Jr.
Oh, yeah.
And this went on for a few minutes, and I'm listening, I'm driving down the road, and I'm listening to this guy trashing his great father, Ronald Reagan. And I knew this guy was about to boil over. I could just see it in my mind's eye. And there's people out there just, I know, they're screaming and yelling. All of a sudden, Ted wraps up the interview pretty much by, I'm not going to say it because we're live on the air.
Well, we played it earlier. We're going to play it again later.
I mean, so many people say, oh, what a Ted's best. And you called him an a-hole. I mean, just, you didn't obfuscate it, and I'm banging on the dashboard going, yes! And I know that there's thousands of other people doing the same thing. And you still had a job afterwards. So, I think what made the people go back to the 90s, just real quick, and I want to do a Lionel here, but I think what made talk radio, we were the trailblazer for talk radio along with WLW, our flagship station. And I think when the company back then took a gamble on all of us, what was so funny is all of us were ex-DJs, and that's why you had the fun and the humor and the timing and the irreverence that we had. And they took a bet on all of us old DJs and threw us on talk radio. Man, we ripped it up, and it was a great, great time.
Hey, Mark, we got to run, but I want to thank you for coming by, and we hope to hear you on the morning show. So,
if you want to pay for my E&O insurance, I'll be glad to come back. All right, brothers. Thanks
Mark
a lot. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
we've got another special guest who wants to say goodbye to Teddy here this morning, and that would be Marco Rubio. I think you know that name.
Yeah, what is it? Does he ever? I don't think you called me anything on the air, Ted, but maybe off the air. I mean, with me on the air, I've never heard you say anything. Maybe we can work on that today. I'm sure I can say something today to.
I was always good to you.
You always were. Well, now you're going to still be on during midday a couple times.
I'll come in. I'm doing a financial show with David Graham.
Yeah. Will that be every day or whenever you feel like?
Yeah, that's every day. But we tape it 2 days a week.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, good. That's.
And he's going to continue to do Webb's World, and that'll be on Wednesdays, and also occasionally coming in and filling in for me.
Wait a minute, I remember I did burn your ass one time on Webb's World. Just let me say.
What did I say?
I forgot what it was right now, but I got it was. Oh, I know what it was. It was immigration.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
When you joined the Gang of 8, but I didn't call you an a-hole.
Yeah. Other people did. Don't worry about it.
I think you didn't stand up last night one of the times that all the other Republicans stood up.
On what was, I'm not into the standing sitting stuff. I clap. I stand if it's like some, a veteran, or I stand and sit all day. I mean, for like an hour at church on Sunday. So at these things, I basically I clap, and then if it's something, but it's almost like a little parlor game with how many times do people stand, do they not stand? It doesn't, in my mind, doesn't mean anything. I'll clap, and that's what I do. But I do stand, but there comes a time where you just, the up, the down, the up. We should we all talk about it among ourselves on the floor, by the way. We all say there's got to be like some sort of rule where we all agree that, we'll stand up at like mentions of this, that, or the other. But people want to read into those things. They mean nothing. It's like the speech was a little long. I think it was very good. Told them the White House that last night. I thought it was a very good speech with a lot of really important moments in it. I just said, hey, but the only thing is, gosh, next time can we shave 15 minutes off some part of it?
Yeah, I ran a little longer than
I'm just an early guy. I get up early. I go to sleep early. So by 10:30, I'm usually at least I'm already in REM.
Let me ask you something. Are your hands really bigger than his?
I know. What are you doing here? Gosh, I don't know.
Hand measuring one day here.
I don't know if it matters at this point, right? That's what's most important.
Well, Senator, we got to run here, but we want to thank you very much for taking the time to come on here this morning with our man Ted, for sure.
Thank you.
We'll miss having you on in the mornings and being with you, but I'm sure we'll have a chance to, catch up and do different things, and now you can, enjoy. You can sleep normal hours now, which is going to be
He'll never do that.
Lauren Matthews said to tell you hi.
Oh, I'm telling him hello.
Thank you very much, Senator.
Thank you guys. Thanks.
We're going from a senator to a president, an ex-president. Ex-president?
Ex-president, yes.
president of a couple things, but not president of the United States of America. Not yet, anyway. Teddy, a man is known by the company he keeps, and clearly just by your guests today and your friends today, you are a great, great man. I'm so thankful to count you as a friend. Your leadership, your mentorship has just been fabulous, and I will always treasure the times that we get to have shared and will continue to share together. Teddy, you are a great man. I love you, my brother. Que tenga buen vida.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Out of the presidency. All right, thank you, Tim. Well, that's Tim Waters, who used to do Clinton.
No, that's not Tim Waters.
That's not Tim?
No, that's Tim, but not Tim Waters.
Oh, okay, we got the wrong Tim. I thought we had Tim Waters, the guy that did the president, and when is he going to do My Fellow Americans? Or something like that. But it didn't happen. Anyway, 7:48, almost 7:49. Let's go to the newsroom and Chris Trinkman.
About 3/4 of Americans who watched President Trump's first